Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a wrestling podcast with MrEliMac. I am your host, MrEliMac, and Monday Night Raw is in the books. I'm recording this right after Monday Night Raw has gone off the air, and a lot has happened on the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, the fallout to Crown Jewel. But with all that being said, before I actually get into the show, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Want to try to get to 70 subscribers. We're already at 60. Let's try to get to the next goal of 70 subscribers. Also, hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever another episode of a wrestling podcast with MrEliMac goes live. But yes, the WWE Monday Night Raw has happened, and a lot actually happened, with the big thing being what happened in the main event, which was we finally got the Austin Theory cash-in that we have been waiting for, that he has until next June, actually, to cash in on. And there were reports that WWE was thinking about waiting to have him cash in until, the full year has gone up. But we all saw that didn't happen. And what did he do? Did Roman Reigns appear for him to cash in on? No. Instead, he decided to cash in his Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. The very first time, actually, that the Money in the Bank briefcase has ever been cashed in on a mid-card championship. And, well, let's just say that it was the first time, and it will probably be the only time we see it, because he was unsuccessful in his cash-in, with Seth Rollins being able to beat Austin Theory to retain his United States Championship. And there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, with the main thing being, with the question mainly being, was this the worst cash-in ever in WWE? And after thinking about a lot of the cash-ins that have happened, the main two that came to mind that I could actually consider worse than this one were the Mr. Kennedy and Otis ones, because they never actually got a chance to cash in their Money in the Bank. They actually lost their Money in the Bank, Mr. Kennedy losing to Edge and Otis losing to The Miz. And since Mr. Kennedy lost to Edge, I would have to say Otis has the worst cash-in right now, since he lost to The Miz. But looking at what we have right now, man, this was a very poor choice. I actually thought back at Halloween Havoc that Austin Theory should have cashed in his Money in the Bank against Braun Breaker, winning the NXT Championship from Braun and sort of becoming the new main event star of NXT because of all the experience he had in Raw proper, all that experience that he was getting. I think it would have been a great person to beat Braun for the title and even lead NXT as a heel champion, trying to get Braun back into the chase of wanting the title. But instead, we got this. Now, is this sort of the first pitfall for Triple H in his regime as the head of creative? Probably. There have been other things that haven't been that great, like the Liv Morgan decision at SummerSlam and stuff that where she tapped out but also pinned Ronda, but the ref didn't see the tap out, so that was a major mishandle on that situation. But yeah, the big Austin Theory thing, that's probably going to be the biggest talking point, because, again, he's the first person to cash in on a mid-card title, though, I mean, you win the Money in the Bank, you win the briefcase when Roman Reigns is currently on his reign with both belts. So, no one's gonna be cashing in on Roman Reigns anytime soon. So it's very disheartening to see him having to lose the Money in the Bank briefcase this way, but it's something that we're going to have to deal with now. This was a creative decision that I think did not help Austin Theory. It was never going to help Austin Theory, and I think that Triple H is going to have to live with this throughout. I feel there have been a lot of people I've been seeing over on social media saying that Triple H just hates Austin Theory and Austin Theory is getting buried by Triple H. I don't think Triple H hates Austin Theory. Like, you know, just seeing him in NXT when he was with Johnny Gargano in The Way, I don't think Triple H hated Austin Theory. I think the thing with Triple H was that he didn't think Austin Theory might have been ready for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think that with all of that thought process going into it, he was probably trying to think of a good way to have him, to get the briefcase off of him, and he probably would have wanted it at NXT, but with Shawn Michaels really being in charge of the creative at NXT, it's very hard to, at least in Triple H's mind, probably to convince his best friend to be like, hey, how about we take the belt off of Braun and put it on Austin Theory, have him cash in, and Shawn was probably like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not my plans for the big story. So that's sort of where we're at right now. And Austin, yeah, he should never have had the briefcase. He should never have had it. If it was on someone else, like a Kevin Owens or maybe even a Seth Rollins, it might have been a bit more believable that that person could have taken the belts, like cashed in and taken the belts off of Roman. But we're currently at this point where this is it's not a burial. It's just a bad thing that has happened to Austin Theory. This is a chance for a reset. This is a chance to bring Austin Theory to square one, and it's something that's going to be interesting to see how Triple H handles Theory's creative in the future. Maybe they team him with someone, maybe they team him with The Miz, and they do Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano versus The Miz and Austin Theory. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe this is a way to push Austin Theory against Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley was the one that cost him the title. So who knows? Who knows what happens? This could potentially lead to some stuff at Survivor Series. So who knows? It could even lead to a triple threat match at Survivor Series with Seth versus Bobby versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Who knows? We don't know yet. And I'm hesitant to say that this is the worst decision ever made, because there have been worse decisions. But as of right now, in terms of the creative for Triple H, this is one of the worst decisions Triple H is ever going to do, for the simple fact of this really it diminishes Austin Theory as a character, as a wrestler. It makes him look like a moron, honestly. It does not make him look good. And this also diminishes the Money in the Bank briefcase, because it's something that's supposed to go for a world title, or at least how they have been building it. It goes, you win the Money in the Bank briefcase and you go for the world title. You don't really go for another title. And now we're at this point where you can cash in against someone who carries the US title, the IC title. And now we're at that point where, okay, you can cash the briefcase on anyone. So that really makes everything with the briefcase go, okay, every title is up for grabs, and I don't know if that's going to be great in the future. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll see how this goes for Austin Theory in the future. But with that little aside out of the way, let's go down the actual card and see what actually happened in the show. So the show started off with a segment with the Usos and Solo Sikoa, and the Usos basically are talking about how they are, if after SmackDown, after they defend the titles, they will be the longest reigning tag team champions, beating the New Day, who the New Day have been very much known as one of the longest reigning, or the longest reigning tag team champions ever. And after SmackDown, the Usos are going to take that title. But then the New Day came out and interrupted, and Kofi Kingston spoke about how they're not going to forfeit the record, and how important that the tag team title record is to them, and just how everything is important to them, and that they're going to be the ones to beat the Usos, and they're going to make sure that the record is not broken. But then a strange thing happens. The entire segment is interrupted by Matt Riddle, And he talks about his bong, and he brings out, like, bongo drums, and he's talking about, hey, you gotta hit the bong to chill and all that. And so, instead of hitting the bong, Jey Uso slaps the bong away, and then we get a 6-man tag team match. So, to talk about the segment in general before I actually get into the match, because the match was actually really good, I think it was nonsensical to have Riddle out there for a segment. I also think it's nonsensical to have a 6-man tag match in general before the big tag team title match. But having Matt Riddle out there to, like, sort of insert himself into this rivalry, into this tag team match that we're about to have, I feel like Triple H wants to use Matt Riddle. I feel like Triple H wants to push Matt Riddle as a major star, but he can't, because he doesn't know what to do with Matt Riddle. I feel like any momentum that Matt Riddle has is being hampered because I feel like Triple H doesn't know what to do with Matt Riddle right now. Especially when all the momentum that Matt Riddle had was because he was in a tag team with Randy Orton, and they were known as RK Bro, and like the RK Bro thing. And sort of ever since Randy has been out, it's really hampered Riddle. Also, what's really hampered Riddle is the fact that he can't challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And I think, again, that's another thing with Vince, where he put that rule. So I really think Triple H is trying to find ways to use him. And since this past summer was the big Riddle-Rollins feud, I don't think Triple H wants to revisit that. Otherwise, he'd probably have Riddle face Rollins for the U.S. title. But Riddle is currently in that weird space of Triple H doesn't know what to do with him. Or at least in my mind, he doesn't know what to do with Riddle. And I think that's very much hampering what Riddle is doing creatively. And Riddle it's not the same as when Sammy was hovering around the bloodline and sort of not really a part of the bloodline and really just inserting himself into these promos with the bloodline. It's nothing like that where Sammy made it organic and made people love what he was doing. Riddle is honestly, in my opinion, coming off as annoying. And I hate to say that about Riddle because he's great in the ring and he does have a great personality outside of the ring on promos. But right now it's not really working, in my opinion. I think Triple H needs to find a good rival for Riddle right now. Otherwise, it's just going to be random nonsense continually. And I don't want to see Riddle go down the path of random nonsense. But after that segment, we get the 6-man tag match of the Usos and Solo Sikoa versus the New Day and Matt Riddle. It's a very fun match, a very tough match. Like, there are a lot of great spots. And ultimately, it ends with Solo Sikoa being the one to pick up the win. And I think Triple H is very high on Solo Sikoa, honestly. I feel like Triple H really wants to push Solo Sikoa as... Again, he is labeled as the enforcer of the bloodline, and I think Triple H really wants to push home that, yeah, he's the enforcer. He's going to be the one that takes down everyone, and this match proved that because he had a great showing. The Usos had a great showing. There wasn't an update on Jay's wrist, so I'm assuming that the wrist is okay. It wasn't that bad because he was supposed to get an MRI today, or at least he was supposed to get an MRI on Monday. So I'm thinking that the MRI is fine. It's shown that the wrist isn't that bad. So also, like, it is taped up. The wrist was taped up. So again, it's probably just one of those things of just keep it taped up and you'll be fine. And maybe, like, yeah, I honestly don't know. But Solo Sikoa looking strong in this match, picking up the win. He's the one that got the pin victory for the Bloodline. And I'm very much looking forward to Friday Night SmackDown. I'm looking forward to that tag team match. It's probably going to be the main event. If it's not the main event, I'm going to be shocked. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that tag team main event because whenever you put the Usos and the New Day in a ring together for the titles or for anything, it's going to be a great match. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that has to offer. Next up, JBL came out. He delivered a promo, random promo. You know JBL. He does his regular promo shtick. And he has Baron Corbin with him, but then Cedric Alexander came out, and then it's Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. I was very hoping that Cedric Alexander would have somehow pull up some sort of victory. Unfortunately, Baron Corbin got the win, and it's not a surprise because Cedric has been on main event a lot, and currently right now, I think Triple H is trying to push Baron Corbin and trying to fix some of the problems that he had as Happy Corbin, and just trying to fix a lot of things. So I think, and again, though JBL is a person that I could care less about, I think putting Baron Corbin and JBL together actually works because Baron Corbin is just a person that everyone just doesn't like. JBL is a character that people just don't like. So putting them together very much works. And also, it sort of helps giving Baron Corbin a mouthpiece of sorts. I'm not saying Baron is bad on the mic, but maybe like this is the reset, and giving him a mouthpiece for Baron's reset could very much work to his benefit in the future. But next, after that, Seth Rollins issues an open challenge for the U.S. title. Judgment Day comes out. Finn Balor is saying that he's going to answer it, saying that Seth cost him gold in the past, referencing the Universal Championship where Finn got injured because of a buckle bomb to the barricade that Seth did at SummerSlam 2016. I remember that one because that was around the time when the draft happened again. And so Finn is saying that he's going to return the favor tonight. However, before the match actually happens, the OC comes out and AJ says that someone found the OC and is joining them to face the Judgment Day. And so when all three of the guys are squaring off against each other, boom, Rhea Ripley gets attacked, and then it is revealed that Mia Yim has returned and she is joining the OC to even the score. Not someone I was expecting. I honestly was expecting someone like Charlotte or like an uber big name. Not saying Mia Yim isn't a big name. She is a big name, but I was expecting like a Charlotte level name to be the one going up against Rhea, but no, it is Mia Yim. And at the end of the day, Seth Rollins leaves as both teams fight with the OC standing tall. Mia Yim is now a part of the OC, and I'm liking that Mia Yim is getting this big spotlight, because when she was Reckoning in Retribution, she was not given a big spotlight. She was forced to stay behind a mask and forced to be stuck with this horrible gimmick in Retribution. So I'm glad that she's able to come back as Mia Yim, as the HBIC. Man, her theme song was so cool. If I only know her theme song because of WWE 2K22, hearing that theme song, I'm like, man, that's a cool theme song. So yeah, she's back. She's getting a big push right now with the OC, and I'm looking for it again. It's probably going to be another Survivor Series match. A lot of matches are going to be happening for Survivor Series right now, and it's probably going to be the Judgment Day versus the OC mixed gender match. And yeah, this could be fun. This could be fun, and it could be like a nice kick in the pants to the OC versus Judgment Day storyline, which could have ended in, which I even said in my Crown Jewel review. I said, oh, how could they encourage a rematch? And I said that, oh, here's our difference maker, and here's our even outer, and that encourages the Mex. And here we are, where they introduced their difference maker and their even outer, and here we are. We're about to get OC versus Judgment Day again. And so we move on to the next segment, which was Elias versus Otis. It was an okay match. It was Elias trying to outpower Otis, but at the end of the day, Otis was able to pick up the victory, outpowering Elias. And I was watching along with Going in Raw on MF Steve, MF Steve here on Twitch with Steve here and the Enforcer, and they were, the chat there were making jokes about how it was sponsored by Golden Corral. I've never been to Golden Corral, and I don't know the inside joke, but at the same time, whenever they were making that joke, I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, match was sponsored by Golden Corral when you look at the MF Steve here Twitch chat. So moving on, we had a segment of Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss calling out Damage Control, and then Damage Control come out and they have a sparring match of the words. of such, and Asuka and Io Sky. They had a promo battle, and it was full Japanese, and I don't understand Japanese, but I'm watching this, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm having so much fun with this. I have no idea what's being saying. The crowd is into it. Like, some of the people in the chat that I was in, they were enjoying it. Like, it was going crazy. And then they get into a full-out brawl, and it has Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa still in the ring as Damage Control are outside, and Bianca issues the challenge of WarGames, which, when you hear Bianca say games, it's a little bit of a English accent with it. But then Nikki Cross comes out and attacks Bianca, and Damage Control join in, being the ones to stand tall against Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. So we're going to get a WarGames match. And they've sort of showed a graphic later on where it was Bayley, Damage Control, and Nikki Cross on one team with Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss on another. Team Bayley only needs one more person. Team Bianca needs two more people. I'm assuming one of the people for Team Bianca is going to be Candice LeRae, and then it's just filling out the gaps for filling out the last piece. I really want Indy Hartwell to get called up from NXT and rejoin with Candice, and that be the final piece of the puzzle. And then, I don't know, someone from NXT joins Damage Control, or we get Indy joining the heels, and then we get just instead of Candice, we get Sasha and Naomi coming back to even the odds. I don't know what they're planning on doing for the Survivor Series Women's WarGames match, but we'll see what happens after that. Then later, we get Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin. Austin Theory gets the win. I really wanted Shelton Benjamin to win because Shelton Benjamin's great. He is legitimately great, and I want him to have all the success in the world, but they're not giving it to him. Austin Theory gets the win, and I'm really hoping that in the future, I have an entire video of what I would do for the European Championship if they brought it back. And one of the main things is that I would have it be a title exclusively to WWE main event and have it sort of be the big title for that one show that no one cares about. And I would have Shelton be like the main challenger for it. Like, he wouldn't be the first champion. I would have Mustafa Ali be the main European champion of WWE main event, but I would have Shelton be like the main challenger in that entire picture. But that's just me. That's what I would love to see. But then moving on, we have the Miz segment, and Miz goes on and talks, claiming that Johnny Gargano lied about what he said last week about the working relationship between The Miz and Dexter Lumis. Miz says that Johnny's lies have made his father not believe him, and he talked to his lawyers and publicists so that he can tell his side of the story. But then Gargano comes out, interrupts, and reveals that he paid a private investigator to pretend to be a producer and talk privately with The Miz, and Johnny shows the footage of The Miz admitting to the fake producer that he paid Dexter to stalk him. And then after that, we get Miz versus Johnny Gargano, with Miz picking up the victory. I was not expecting that. I was very much expecting Johnny to get the win in this match, but when I saw that he didn't, I was very shocked. So yeah, like, the moment that The Miz won, I was very surprised. I thought that, again, Johnny was going to get the win, but then after the match, Dexter Lumis comes out and he attacks The Miz with a steel chair. I don't know how I feel about this story being Dexter Lumis mad that he's not getting paid by The Miz. I don't know if I like that story in general, but we'll see. We'll see what happens later on in the feud. I very much would have rather it been Dexter Lumis is just stalking The Miz and The Miz is freaking out. Like, treat Dexter like some sort of, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I just know that I don't really care that The Miz was paying Dexter Lumis to stalk him, and that's why Dexter is continuing this attack. I hope that we get a blow-off match at either the Raw before Survivor Series or at Survivor Series. The only reason why I say the Raw before Survivor Series is because I don't see this being a Survivor Series match. Honestly, this feels like a Raw match. And so I'm very curious to see if we're going to get the blow-off at Survivor Series. I'm very curious. But then, after that, we get a 24/7 championship match. Dana Brooke, the champion, going up against Nikki Cross. And Nikki Cross won the title. There's not much else to say. Because I don't care about the 24/7 championship. I stopped caring about the 24/7 championship after the stuff between R-Truth and Drake Maverick ended. That was very much when I cared about it, and then after that ended, I stopped caring. And so, Dana Brooke is no longer the 24/7 champion. What really matters is what happened afterwards, with Nikki Cross taking the 24/7 championship and just tossing it in the trash can. And I even was predicting that in the chat that I was part of. I was like, what if Nikki just tosses it in the trash, like Medusa from WCW? What if she does that? And lo and behold, that is what happened. And so I'm assuming this means that the 24/7 championship is going to officially be retired. I don't know, but one can only assume that Triple H is going to end the 24/7 championship, because it was a title at this point no one was caring about. No one cared about the 24/7 championship. And a majority of the people that cared, or that were even a part of the 24/7 championship, are people that Triple H is mildly trying to fix in his new version of WWE. I mean, Cedric Alexander, a person that was squarely in the 24/7 championship running, like, fought Baron Corbin. Sure, he lost, but he had a prominent spot on the card. Shelton Benjamin, another person that was in the 24/7 title scene. Match against Austin Theory. Again, sure, he lost, still on the card. I really think that Triple H is really wanting to take people that he knew are great workers in the 24/7 scene and bringing them out of that obscurity, because that's an annoying part when you're a fan of the product and you're a fan of legitimately a lot of these wrestlers. Like, I am a fan of Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali, and I am so happy to see them not in the 24/7 title scene anymore. I am very happy that the 24/7 title, would I have put it in the trash can? Maybe not. I would have just silently retired it. But seeing that the official, the title is basically ended, I am fine with that. I just don't want to see that title anymore. And I'm glad that we're probably never going to see that title ever again. So, moving on, we get basically the main event moment of Seth Rollins issuing another open challenge for the United States title. Mustafa Ali says he was about to accept it, but then he got attacked by Bobby freaking Lashley, who is a man on a freaking mission, and he just takes down Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali tries to get his win back, but Bobby just destroys him again. This is a focused Bobby Lashley, and Lashley says that he's going to be facing Seth Rollins. But before they actually get into the match, the bell never actually rings, and Bobby Lashley beats down Seth Rollins, and that's when Austin Theory comes down with the Money in the Bank, and that's when everyone is thinking to ourselves, he's not going to cash in, is he? He's not going to cash in. No way. He recently held that title. There's no way he's cashing in. Well, guess what? He cashed in, and then him and Seth Rollins had a match, and it was very much evident that Seth Rollins was going to retain. There were moments where it seemed like Theory was going to beat him for the title, but then the ref was distracted, and then Bobby Lashley came down and destroyed Austin Theory, and then threw him back in the ring, leading to Seth Rollins hitting a curb stomp and getting the pinned victory, basically retaining the United States title. Again, it could be a thing where Theory can say, well, my cash-in was messed up because of Bobby Lashley, so I think I need to keep my Money in the Bank briefcase. But you cashed in. You still cashed in. There have been a lot of people that Baron Corbin cashed in, got distracted by John Cena, and then got rolled up by Jinder Mahal. Don't give me that stuff, because people have been messed with in their cash-in and still lost. So that's not gonna be a thing. At least I hope it's not a thing. I don't want to see the Money in the Bank briefcase on Austin Theory anymore. And I think, again, I don't think this is a positive step forward for Austin Theory. I think this hurts him. I think that this does bring him back to square one, but I think this does hurt him and make him look like a fool, make him look like an idiot. And I really hope that after this moment, Triple H can find a way to fix that. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. There's a lot of stuff that happened, very eventful. We even got a stare down between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, sort of hinting that could be a potential women's title match in the future. I would love to see that. But yeah, the event, Raw was good. Raw was fine. I enjoyed it. But the crowd didn't. Like, watching the crowd, they were dead. The live crowd was dead for a good, like, near the end of it. That's when it was its most dead. Like, no one was singing along to Seth's theme. Like, no one was having a good time in Pennsylvania, I can tell you that. But yeah, we're revving up to Survivor Series, we're revving up to SmackDown for the tag title match. Yeah, a lot is going to be happening soon, and maybe we'll get another example and another hint of what's going to be happening for the men's WarGames match. I still think it should be the Bloodline and Karrion Kross versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. I think that should be the match, because we haven't seen Kevin Owens in a long time on camera, so I think this would be a great way for him to come back. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What were your thoughts on Monday Night Raw? Post them in the comments down below. Again, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That way you can keep up to date with all the wrestling podcasts with MrEliMac episodes. Also, hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever a new video like this comes your way and another episode comes your way. But until next time, I've been MrEliMac. You've been the audience, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day.